Well, welcome back to Verifiably Random. I'm Marc van der Burg. I'm Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at the Algorand Foundation, and I'm here with Min Wei, our Chief Business Officer.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be back, Marc, huh?
Season 3, can you believe it?
Where did the summer go? It's been a blink.
Yes, a lot of things have happened, and so a lot of things to talk about in this show as well. So we're going to talk about the new format. We're going to make some changes to the format and the frequency of Verifiably Random, and then we should talk about Algoland, the new retail marketing campaign, and of course we'll have Fred, as our head of DeFi, to give us an update on DeFi land. So let's talk maybe about the format first. We're going to make some changes to the overall format this season, right?
Yeah, so I think one of the things we've been thinking about is, now that it's just the two of us without John, although we do miss John, of course, his energy, his vibe, but now we get to be the stars. And so one of the things we were thinking about is it'd be really fun to rotate hosting these shows between the two of us, and we'll make it a little bit shorter format, a little bit more snappier, if you will, but we'll also do a little bit more frequently as well. So we are going to target perhaps every week releasing an episode, although do not hold us to that because there may be a week or two that we can't make it. But the idea is to put sort of more of these shorter, fun episodes out there for Algofame.
Great. And so you're going to focus on more interviewing our existing projects, right? Like getting frequent guests on the show and talk about how they're doing and the progress that they've made.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for me, it's what's really fun is getting to talk to all the builders and entrepreneurs in the ecosystem, digging into their stories, what was hard, what was fun, why did they get started? So, I'm very excited to have those conversations with all of them.
And then I'll focus on more kind of discussing relevant topics that are in the news, milestones that are happening within the overall Algorand ecosystem. Maybe, talk about real world assets. So talk about our move to the US or, what are we doing in stablecoins? And so topics like this.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be crossovers too. Some of the guests could also perhaps be experts in one of your sort of trending topic conversations as well. But I think it's a nice way to bring together kind of the big things that we're thinking about and on the ground, what's happening in our ecosystem. So yeah, I agree.
And of course, I can pop into your podcast and then you're welcome to pop into my podcast.
Marc, you're welcome anytime to come in.
So I think this is going to be good. So I think last season we had, how many did we do? 10, 12? Maybe?
9 or 10, yeah.
10? Yeah. So yeah, this season we should pretty much double it. We should go to 20 or so, more or less.
Yeah.
And I think we should get Fred on all of them. Like he should be in all of them.
Wow. Fred, of course. We can't do this without Fred, to be honest. We're lost.
Yeah. So very exciting. So the second topic we want to talk about is Algoland. And personally, I'm of course very excited about Algoland. Is our new retail oriented marketing campaign that we're going to kick off next week. And so
very cool.
This is going to be super, super fun. It's a very kind of like what we're trying to do is create more of a gamified experience. And rather than talking to people about the technical advantages, we want them to experience it. We want them to use our projects and then see how fast it is and how smooth the experience is. And so I can't wait to actually launch this next week.
Yeah. Actually, Marc, let's take a step back a little bit and just kind of tell us sort of the origin. I'm starting my whole pitch already. The origin story of Algoland. What were the inspirations and how do we kind of get to where we are today, ready to launch this campaign next week?
Yeah, I think originally when we started thinking about doing this, it was basically at the back end of can a blockchain do that? We showcase all of the things that are possible on chain. But we want to take it to the next level and rather than having it a campaign that people can read about and read about the use cases and how these projects are doing, we wanted to give people kind of a hands-on experience with all of these projects, right? Like rather than talking about, Fox Finance in the abstract, let's go and use Fox Finance, or let's go and use Tinyman and do a swap or et cetera, et cetera. So we want people to kind of experience firsthand how these projects work and how good they are and how smooth they are. Because I think that a lot of people, especially outside the ecosystem that haven't used Algorand in the past, will be surprised to see how good the experience is, how fluid it is, how there's no failures, how you don't have to wait for a transaction to finalize. And the way to do it is not talk about it in the abstract. The way to do it is to actually put these projects in front of them and say, go do this, go download Para, um,
Yeah.
and do a swap, and try it out. And so that's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to achieve.
And so would you say kind of like who are we trying to attract with this retail campaign?
So I think we're really focusing more on Web3 users. So we're not trying to kind of boil the ocean and go after generic Web2 audience, because I think in general it is still very hard to attract non-techie users to kind of a blockchain self-custody type of wallet. And so, of course, we'll fix that with Rocka, as we talked
Yeah.
about in our roadmap. But that's coming next year. So in the meantime, what we really focused on is really our own ecosystem plus Web3 users in general. And Web3 users in general who may have heard of Algorand, but never really experienced and tried it. And so the core thing that we're trying to do here is three things. One is get people to download a wallet and try things. Secondly is to actually generate monthly transacting users. We don't want people to just, download the wallet and then look at it and don't do any transactions on chain. The whole campaign is geared towards getting people to transact on chain and do it on a monthly basis, like frequent basis, because that's how you will experience the benefits of using Algorand's ecosystem. And then the third thing that we want to do is we want to basically make sure that the people that come to our ecosystem, that they are onboarded properly, not just in the wallet, but also onboarded in our community. We want them to kind of sign up and follow AlgoFam. We want them to sign up and follow the key OGs in our ecosystem and be really kind of welcomed by our ecosystem, because we believe it's really, really important for our community to grow. And so it's not just about transactions on chain, it's also making sure that people are welcomed in our community and that we can all together, we can grow our community. We're not going after farmers. And so although there's prizes and everything like that, we're not really going after farmers, people that just come here to kind of farm for a price and then leave again. No, we want people to kind of like experience the value and the power of our DeFi ecosystem and be part of our community.
Yeah, I think of it as like a step-by-step guide to introduce a user to the Algorand ecosystem. And it's really a nice, thoughtful way to make sure that you not only get to experience, but you get to be part of this larger ecosystem. And actually with that, Marc, maybe can you share a little bit of kind of the structure and the format of the retail campaign that we can expect?
So it's a campaign that will run for 13 weeks. So it'll start, as I mentioned, it'll start next week and it'll run for 13 weeks. So pretty much until the end of the year. And so there's a campaign website where you go to, and it's a complete Web3 app. So you basically connect your wallet on that website, and then there will be 13 weekly challenges. Think about it as like the Great British Baking Show. There's Cake Week, and there's Dessert Week, and there's Bread Week. So we will have DeFi Week, and we'll have Prediction Week, and Swap Week, and Meme Coin Week, etc., etc. So every week will be a separate challenge that is themed, and then within that week you have to complete a number of quests. So, for instance, if it's swap week, maybe you have to do a swap on 2 different or 3 different DeFi projects. And so when you complete all the quests, and for every quest that you do, you get points. And then when you complete all 3 quests, you can claim an NFT. And once you've claimed the NFT, you're entered into a drawing for the weekly prizes. And so there's a weekly prize that gets handed out using a drawing, using, of course, a verifiable random function to kind of select the winner. And so if you've completed all the quests and you've claimed your NFT, you're entered into the drawing for that week. But as I said, you also get points for completing quests, and all these points add up. And so at the end of the 13 weeks, there will be 3 grand prizes. And so you're entered into a drawing for those grand prizes as well. And the more points you've gathered over the course of the 13 weeks, the higher your chances are of winning one of the grand prizes. Also, of course, using a verifiably random function to select the winner. So that's how the system is structured. So there's 13 weeks, 13 theme challenges. There's a total of 40 quests that you can complete over those 13 weeks. And you complete all the quests in a week. You claim your NFT, you're entered for a weekly prize. In the meantime, you get points. And the more points you have, the higher your probability of winning the prize at the end. And so there's one more thing to add is that we also added a referral mechanism into it. So depending on the number of people that you refer to. And so every single time a person you referred completes a quest, you will get a fraction of the points that that person is getting. So therefore, you can really build up your stash of points and maximize your chances of winning one of the grand prizes at the end. So it's completely gamified. It'll be a lot
Love
of
it.
fun.
Yeah.
And it is running completely on chain. So all of the game mechanics, all of the points, all of the referral mechanism, everything is running on chain. And D13 and the team spend a lot of time like building the entire infrastructure right. So it's going to be super cool. Everything is transparent, obviously, because everything is running on chain. So you can
Yeah.
actually see what's happening in real time. So which is going to be very, very cool.
That's I was just going to say that given how complex this campaign is, the fact that, like you said, it's living on chain is something that I think we should take a moment and talk about. It's pretty remarkable. Tazos, like you said, Tazos and the team really worked hard to build this. But I think what's really amazing is the way they built it. They are really thinking about building it such that others in the ecosystem can use what they've built, right? So, for example, there's going to be an SDK, there's going to be an API that goes live to be able to allow users to track the points, right? And to monitor the on-chain transactions. So if anybody out there that wants to build a dashboard to see who's leading the points, they can, right? And I think that's kind of what's really cool about what the team has built on the back end in terms of supporting this on-chain campaign that we're running as well.
Yeah, and actually I've heard from MG at Go Plausible that he's planning to integrate this within his AI agent. So you'll be able to talk to the AI agent and say, give me my points, or
Oh
like,
my
give me a
gosh.
leaderboard of
Oh
like
my
who's
gosh.
leading and like, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's amazing. I mean,
yeah,
forget building. Just ask the AI agent that
exactly,
MG has. Oh, that's awesome.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we should definitely do. Maybe will invite Tazos in one of the next
Yeah.
podcasts to talk in more detail about what he has done.
Totally.
It's been quite an involved project. Like
Yep.
getting over potentially, let's say there's 100,000 people playing. That's quite substantial, and like making sure all the smart contracts and everything is working properly at that level of
Yep.
scale.
And they're going to open source all this stuff as well. And so I think it's all going to be accessible to everybody that wants to build on it. So I think that's super
Yeah, so
cool.
if ever Ethereum wants to run like an on-chain quest, they can use us as a settlement layer because we will scale.
And we have the APIs there for it.
And we have exactly.
That's super cool. Yeah. So it's launching next week. We are starting with, I guess, just a little bit of a teaser for everybody, right? We're starting with a setup week and
There's a
then
setup.
a setup
Yes,
week.
and
Yeah.
so during the setup week, you have to make sure you set up properly. You basically sign up for the campaign page, you opt in to the terms and conditions, you connect your wallet, and you start referring friends. Those are the three things you have to do. And so
Okay.
that's the first week. Yes.
Very cool.
And then week number 2 will be prediction week.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so we're going to be featuring Alpha Arcade.
Yeah.
And I think you're
And
planning on interviewing them,
that's
right?
exactly right. And as my first guest on the podcast, I'm going to interview Max from Alpha Arcade and dig into that world a little bit. So it'll be fun. I can't wait for that that session.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then that week as well, the following week, there's going to be, I can't say too much about this, but we will have another extra podcast with a mystery guest.
A mystery guest.
Mystery guest, yes. Yes.
Can you share a little bit about this mystery guest? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Tight
Um,
lipped that
Again, the
Mark
thing is,
the
it wouldn't be mystery if I disclosed the
Yeah,
guest, but
yeah.
like there will be a mystery guest, and it'll be like an extra podcast.
Okay.
So we're kicking off
Okay.
the season
I
real strong, right? But if like
Yeah.
we talk about doing it weekly, it'll be more than weekly because we'll have this extra episode already coming.
Yeah. It'll be a busy rest of the year for us, but we have some really fun guests and a mysterious one and some fun topics and well I think there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to actually everybody in our ecosystem, in our community. Everybody should participate. And everybody should participate.
Yes.
It's like we want everybody to kind of play the game
Yep.
and do all the quests and have some fun and introduce it to their friends. Right, that is the key here. We have
Referrals get you more points, remember.
will get you more points, and so we have a whole
Yeah.
media strategy laid out as well with Kulsha, our head of growth, to attract new people to Algorand, and so it will also extend to our champions and our KOLs. So we have a whole kind of KOL strategy, and that's really critical because we want all of the followers of KOLs to also participate in this campaign. So it's a very comprehensive kind of marketing strategy to put as many eyes as we possibly can find and
Yeah.
put them all on Algorand and Algorand's ecosystem. And I'm very excited as well for all of our projects because that ultimately is what will make this campaign successful if we can get more users to our projects and have those users be sticky for those projects, right? Like, and I know a lot of the projects in our ecosystem are already planning their kind of own loyalty programs and their own promotions and their own because
Great.
we want to get we can deliver people to the doorstep, but then they also have to do their their work to make sure those people come back and stay loyal. And so it's exciting to see the enthusiasm also with all the projects in our ecosystem to participate in this, to build their own loyalty programs, their own promotions. And so I think it'll be one big party between now and the end of the year.
It'll be one big collaborating party because everybody will have to work together to really kind of help engage the new users that this marketing campaign is able to bring. I think that's what's really exciting about it. It reminds me a little bit of the Coinbase Quest that we did earlier this year, but the difference being more projects get to participate. There are more engagement for the individual projects, and we're all working together to make sure that these users stay. So I think that's super exciting. So I guess everybody will just have to keep their eyes open for next week. And when the campaign launches, we expect full participation. And we'll check back in on that on a weekly basis as well. Right, Mark?
Exactly. And people can go to algorand.co and it'll be right there. It'll be visible right there. You can click through from that website to our dedicated campaign site, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's a good looking page as well. So
yeah.
All right. So speaking of the ecosystem, I think this is a good time for us to welcome our favorite part of the show and ask Fred to come up and join us.
Hey, Mark. Hey, man. How are you?
Fred.
Doing
We
great.
miss you.
Yes.
Looking sharp as always, Fred.
As always, it is so good to be back. You have no idea. I want to thank you both for inviting me again because you have no idea how much I missed my favorite duo, this suit and tie. I was dying to wear them again. I missed this so much. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this again. Okay. I kind of missed you both too. Okay, but just a little bit. I missed this.
Yes. So what's new? What's new in DeFi land?
All right. So you two put me in a tough position, because it's been a few months since our last episode, and Min was talking about the summer, and I got so jealous because it was winter here in Brazil. I didn't enjoy the summer, but it was so hard to compile like just the top highlights of the ecosystem in the last few months. I hope I did it justice, but we'll let the Algo Fam judge of my list. Okay, how does that sound? Sound good?
Take it away.
All right, let's go. So I'm going to start with just a few updates from the DeFi side of things. I'm slightly biased towards that vertical. So Folks Finance launched a lot of really cool stuff in the last few months, mainly the isolated markets, basically letting the community use the ecosystem tokens as collateral to basically deposit and borrow against them. And as they launched this isolated market, they launched with Tiny Man's Tiny Token. And there are many more tokens coming soon to enable even more composability to our DeFi ecosystem. Really cool stuff by Fox Finance. Talking about TinyMan, they also launched a really cool functionality of trigger orders and recurring buys, basically just giving more flexibility, power, and control for the users, for them to buy into the positions of the tokens they are interested in our ecosystem. Pact, also one of the leading DEXs in our ecosystem, launched their own governance token, the PAO token, which is making waves in our ecosystem. The team from Transaction Lab recently acquired the DFlex router, and then they launched the Haystack, a all-new shiny DeFi trading app with excellent UI and UX, and it turned out to be a really fun way just to get exposure to the DeFi ecosystem. It's really nice to use, really smooth. I highly recommend everybody to check out the app, and also, tell your friends, bring more people to our DeFi ecosystem. That is the best, easiest way for people to get exposed to our DeFi ecosystem.
And feel free to use my personal referral link.
Yeah, or if you want an even better referral code, you can use mine, right, Mark? So thanks for that. I appreciate it.
How many points do you get? How many points do you get?
Ooh, that's a secret. That's a secret. But I'm gonna beat Mark. We'll see. We'll see. And then continuing on the DeFi, the team at Compex does not stop building. They did a lot of updates recently. They updated the XUSD, their algorithmic stablecoin interest rate model. They released lots of new vaults for ASAs, even lofty properties. And they're also working on Orbital, an all-new lending market coming to Algorand, which is already live on testnet. So for all of you DGNs out there, go play around in testnet and give Kieran and the team some feedback. It's a really cool product. But all right, moving on towards staking, which is still kind of related to DeFi in a way. The incredible team at MIF Finance launched several new dual stakes. They're staking tokens featuring lots and lots of popular tokens in our ecosystem. Lots of stuff happening over there. Go check them out. The Ready pooling protocol surpassed 450 million algo stake through very strong retail and institutional adoption, including the likes of Kiln and P2P.org and a few others. So really just really incredible adoption, really nice to see. That is a lot of stake.
And not to forget Fred Estante.algo.
Of course, Mark, that's also one of the best Ready pools out there, but I'm not gonna, I think we should move on from this conversation, Mark. It's not gonna end well for you, okay? I'm beating you. I'm sorry, okay? There's nothing I can do. But it's still on the staking front. Hex Trust launched a really good custodial solution for institutional staking. We're already seeing adoption there as well, so kudos to Hex for working on this. And then on the centralized exchange front, lots of centralized exchange launched their staking programs. Notably, we had recently Uphold and Crypto.com. Right? Those are the very latest, but of course, we have had big names. There's stuff that we can do on Binance and many other centralized exchanges out there. So there's staking for everybody out there. Okay. Moving on from staking to gaming, we saw a lot of really cool activity in the gaming front in Algorand in the last couple of months. We had the team from Fractal Monsters launch their new game through an open beta that is gaining a lot of traction in the community. Really fun to see. I've played it. Really, really nice. Really nice job to the team. The team at Astro Explorer just continues to distribute lots of awesome prizes through the arcade games every single week. The retro games are a lot of fun. I've played some of them. It is truly something interesting to do, in your free time, whenever you're waiting for a meeting or whatever, and you can get some really cool prizes. So go check them out. And last but certainly not least, Cosmic Champ was also featured on the Play to Earn games review recently and are gaining some momentum, some traction as well. Really cool stuff. Now, talking about XGov. The XGov has been also on a roll lately here in the Algorand Foundation. We hosted the first XGov council meeting, obviously following the conclusion of GP15 a few months ago. Then XGov officially rolled into mainnet. We already have lots of registered participants. And then just more recently, as a couple weeks ago, XGov was integrated into Ready. So now Ready pools have support for the XGov platform. Mark, does your Ready pool have support for XGovs? Because mine does.
Not yet. It's I'll wait. After the conclusion of this podcast, I'll go, complete my opt-in.
Okay,
I promise.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mark. I'm sorry. Not a good selling point for you. But to all ready pool operators out there, if you still haven't, and the vast majority I think they have, but if you still haven't, go sign up, integrate your ready pool into Xcov. Just more voting power for everybody. Let's take care of our protocol. Moving on towards real world assets, the stuff that we all love. We had a new company, a new tokenization company launched right here in Brazil, Casa del Token. They're using Algorand for the tokenization of some projects. Looking forward to hearing more from the team. Our favorite friends from Lofty AI tokenized lots and lots of new incredible properties. And last time I checked, there were over, I think, 85 or almost $90 million of locked TVL of real estate on Algorand, and the number only keeps climbing. So really nice to see the traction they're getting and they're accelerating. And another quick point
It's
that sorry, go ahead, Mark.
it's actually cool. I just saw one of the properties was quite amazing. It was a U.S. post office. They tokenized it kind of like a US post office. And so it was very cool. So now you can buy $50 worth of, ownership in a post office.
That's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
people got to check it out. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Lofty team continues to kill, as always, incredible product, incredible presence in the space, and growing, which is the most important part of it all. So, kudos to team. And then at last, in the RWA front, the Algo Foundation also announced that we have onboarded Midas, yield-bearing stablecoins through their tokenized T-bills on Algorand. So that has already made its way onto Algorand, and hopefully even more adoption is coming soon to the T-bills. Stay tuned, okay? And then moving on to just the general, breadth of Web3 and consumer apps, we have had Alpha Arcade in our prediction market, which you both just talked about, is going to be featured in the second week of the retail campaign. Alpha Arcade launched literally hundreds of new markets in the last few weeks. They are on fire. They also launched several amazing platform upgrades all over, including parlays, really cool functionality for all the betting DJs out there. I see people doing all sorts of crazy things on Twitter all the time. So it's fun to see how the community is enjoying that. And they just recently surpassed over $2 million in total volume through the platform. So again, just really nice to see adoption and the numbers growing in all fronts. Touching also on something that you two mentioned recently about Go Plausible. It was not long ago. It seems like a long time ago, but it wasn't, that they actually launched the first version of the Algorand remote MCP server. And then, MG and the team had just built so much functionality on top of it. It is a lot of fun. I cannot wait for all of our existing community and the new community that's joining us in Algoland in a few weeks to try it out. Really cool stuff. Kudos to MG and the team.
Yeah. And we're going to do, actually, in the next couple of weeks, we're doing a hackathon with Ryzen in Turkey. And MG will be there, and it'll be an AI-focused hackathon. So it'll be exciting to see and bring in some new developers and see what they can do with all of the AI capabilities that are available already.
It's awesome to hear. Cannot wait to see what comes out of this hackathon. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. All right, and then moving on the wallet side of things, Loot Wallet also, released lots of upgrades, including support for Exodus and Trust Wallet accounts, so you can do it right directly through the Loot Wallet. And they also launched a really cool feature of peer-to-peer atomic swaps. So now you can leverage one of the most amazing features of the Algorand protocol directly on Loot Wallet. Kudos to Andrew and the team. Really nice stuff. Okay, Para. Obviously, Para, they're releasing updates every single week. There's so much to cover, but maybe my favorites that I chose to talk about today is just that Para released universal wallets. Just, a very important step in the right direction. And maybe even Min, if you want to have time, you can talk more about this later because you know all about this. But it was a really, really cool update. I'm very glad that Para did this. And they also launched a fully revamped Discover section. It is amazing to look at it now. It's just so easy and beautiful and nice to explore our ecosystem and figure out what's trending, what's hot, figure out all the projects and all the different verticals, etc. It is just a lot of fun. If for some reason people listening to the podcast are living under a rock and they haven't checked it out, check it out now, okay? Because it's really, really fun stuff.
Yeah,
And to
I would
wrap
say
up,
the one thing, Fred, about the
yeah,
universal wallets is it's a beautiful experience for the users, right? It makes creating a wallet really easy, but it brings us up to standard with how a lot of other wallets are handling their keys and handling the quick creation. And there's a lot of work in the back end that you don't even see. But yeah, to your point, that's probably one of the biggest features that the team worked on over the last little bit, and super excited for it to be out. So I appreciate you calling that one out as your favorite feature for sure.
All right, happy I got it right.
Yeah.
And then I think I saved the best for last. We'll see if the Algo fam agrees or not. And Mark, I think you can probably talk about this much better than I can. But we had the release of the Tower by World Chess on chain, right? Which
Right.
is a player progression system that leverages the Algorand blockchain to store player data. Really incredible move, really nice product, truly leveraging blockchain technology. But Mark, I know you were heavily involved in this, and I mean you as well. I don't know if any of you wanna add more color to this because that was truly an incredible announcement that
Yeah.
we had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited about this because I think it's one of the first loyalty programs that are designed by a regular Web2 company that is completely natively from the ground up built on a blockchain. And I think that's truly exciting. And actually, it is the first deliverable of one of our roadmap items. We announced the release of a product called Intermezzo, and the whole idea behind Intermezzo is that we make it easy for Web2 companies to build on chain by abstracting away all the complexities of like key management and all that kind of stuff. And so the Tower is the first product that's actually built on top of Intermezzo. And so, World Chess doesn't have an army of like blockchain engineers. They just use standard SDKs that we provide them, and that allows them to create assets, to move assets, to do all the things that you need to do to kind of run a loyalty program. And so I think that's very exciting, and we see significant uptick already in terms of usage on chain of this loyalty program. So, and it's just a start. I mean, the product has only been live for a month or so it's just a start.
Cool. Amazing. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate the more information on this. And team, that's all that I have for today. Hopefully I did justice in covering, the key highlights from the last couple of weeks and months. But I'm pretty sure the Algo fam is going to tell me, their favorite piece of news that I missed. But hey, let us know in the comments, okay? And we'll do better next time.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Fred. This is always the highlight of the show.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Fred. Well, Mark, I think that's a wrap for today's session.
I think it is. I'm so glad that we can kick this off. Like season 3, I've been waiting for this to happen. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a super interesting season. Lots of stuff happening. Higher frequency. We do more of these podcasts. We have more interviews. We have more topics to cover. And so I think it's going to be a very interesting and very exciting season.
For sure. I think it'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to my conversation with Max next week. So, and then finding out who your mysterious mystery guest is. It's going to be
Yes.
a unique thing.
And then to
Um,
AlgoFam, make sure, next week when the campaign goes live, make sure to sign up, opt in, start referring your friends. We want over 100,000 people to participate in this game. So go at it.
Earn those points, win those prizes.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Farewell. See you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks, Mark. Bye.